how have you learned to deliver honest feedback without losing that personal connection?
Yeah, it's I've learned this the hard way as well, where I've early on I fudged it a few times. I thought I was doing the right thing, but it
Hmm.
was the wrong thing. I think the analogy I use is you stab you in the chest, it'll hurt, but you know who's holding the knife and you know why they've put it there,
Yeah.
so that when you leave the room, there's real clarity in the message, and it's sort of an empathetic approach rather than a sympathetic approach. So I can share the fact because I've been on the end of those conversations as well. I know what it feels like. It's sometimes it doesn't make you feel very good, but at least if you've got the information, then you can start to use it to move forward. And again, I learned that the hard way early on, and you know that the other part of that is that being fair with everyone doesn't mean that everyone's treated the same, because everyone's circumstances and context is a bit different. So that clarity message has got to be really clear. If whatever it's good, bad, or indifferent, they need to know what the message is and why. But the fairness for one individual might be slightly different from someone else's.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah.
That's fascinating. Tough love, basically. Sometimes you've got to do that, haven't you?
It can be. It
Yeah,
can be, but it can also be really quite caring and sort of
yeah,
empathetic, because the messages are, for the most part, if you've got the recruitment piece right, you've got great people in your environment, and they are good people, and they've all got value. So everyone wants to understand that when they go to work, they've got worth and purpose,
yeah.
and actually they matter to people there. So, for me today, having playing in the golf day with the boys is a great chance for me to go and spend time with them without having to talk any rugby. And there's no conversations around selection, around skill, or to do that. It's just we're playing golf, and I'm the worst golfer there. So it's brilliant. It's a great day because we can care about each other and spend time with each other without having the rugby conversation. So that again builds a layer that, if you've got to have that conversation, there's a deeper level of trust in the message, and the credibility that the message, that they can understand it. And you'd like to hope that through the way you've given it, that they can see that actually, if they can modify something, it'll help them get better. Because ultimately we all still are trying to do that.
So, have you ever made a decision where you've recruited someone and they had a wrong choice and then you have to fire them? Honest answer.
I
You
don't
can say
know.
absolutely no.
I don't think I don't think I have. I
Yeah,
think there's, for whatever reason, there's players that have come for a season and it just hasn't worked out. But at the start, I think that the process was right. We got the right guy, and away we went. I think probably the harder one around, something I did get wrong. There was a player I had who was a very good player, and he ended up playing the premiership. And we'd selected the team and decided that he wasn't going to play, and it just didn't sit well with me. And I went and told him, right, you're not playing for this, and he wasn't happy. And I was like, he's not happy, okay. And it just didn't sit. It just didn't sit right with me. And I sort of gone. So I actually changed my mind and
really?
went back and said, "Nah, yeah." I remember I went back and I said, I've made a mistake. I've got this wrong." And I actually, the other coaches, we'd made the decision collectively, and the other coaches were all really aligned that they thought he shouldn't play. And I was like, okay, it's a group decision, but it just didn't sit well with me. And I just put the head coach's hat back on and said, "Nah, I'm changing my mind." And I actually had to go and say to this guy, "I've made a mistake. I'm changing my mind. I've listened to what you've said. It actually made a lot of sense with me, and I'm going to back you back in, and I'm going to change it around." And it was, I learned a lot from doing that. And the one thing I learned from that was it's actually okay to say, I don't know, and I got it wrong as the coach. And I think that was the first time I did that.
And how did he perform at the weekend after you backed
Yeah,
him?
I had a blinder.
there you go.
There.
Right.
Oh, he went on and played. He went on and played in the Premiership. I won't say his name, but he's a hell of a character. He's just a great guy.
Yeah,
He went on and had a really good career for one of the top Premiership teams, and strength to strength. So it was that ability to say I don't know, or I'm sorry, I got that wrong. I actually think that goes a long way with the playing group, that they can see that you are actually a person
Yeah.
and not a machine.
Yeah.
And actually, we all get things wrong.